graphics or gameplay? Now, this is an age-old question that actually goes back to the beginning of time, back when dinosaurs used to roam the earth. Cavemen would wonder what's more important, the quality of the chalk or the story being told. The ancient Egyptians would wonder what's more important, the quality of the paint or the details in the drawing. And also, since the beginning of time, people have wondered what's more important in a relationship, the looks of a person or the personality of a person. Now, of course, since I'm ridiculously good looking and a wonderful person, I don't have that issue, but you know, other people's problems. But for now, let's stick with graphics versus gameplay. Now, there's been lots of opinions on this over the years. Some people say graphics. I believe most people tend to say gameplay, at least most people I tend to come across. So I think it's time that I threw my hat into the ring and dropped a few coins on this particular subject matter and offered my viewpoint. Now, I don't think it's a question of graphics versus gameplay, but a question of how well do they complement each other to create a whole product. For example, if you look at a game like Minecraft, now Minecraft isn't known for its amazing visuals, but its crafting system apparently does it so well that millions and millions of people play it each and every day. Now, it's easy to look at a game like Minecraft and say, well, the graphics are shit, but I don't think that's quite true. I don't think the graphics are shit, at least not in the traditional sense of the word. But what they do is that they complement the style of game that it goes for. For example, if you imagine Minecraft with the graphics of, say, Call of Duty or Gears of War. Let's go with Gears of War. If you imagine Minecraft and the graphics of Gears of War, now you can have the exact same gameplay, the exact same sound effects, the exact same music, the exact same everything else, but you got the graphics of Gears of War with everything else from Minecraft. Now, that doesn't necessarily make a better game or a worse game. That's subjective and down to personal opinion, but it does create a different experience of the game. So what you have with Minecraft is the graphics, the gameplay, the sound, everything else, everything that goes into that game complements each other to make this experience, and that's what delivers the message, that's what delivers the feelings, and that's what creates the experience that the player has. Now, if we switch art forms for a moment and look at music, a similar question could be what's more important in a song, the lyrics that are being sung or the music behind it. And it's the same, and I believe it's the same sort of answer. It's not what's more important, it's how well does it complement each other. You can have a song that's being sung with no music or just the music with no lyrics. That creates a different experience than when you have them together. Or for example, if you have lyrics that might be, say, offensive, you know, really rude, that don't really gel well with your own philosophies in life, but the music itself is something that you really appreciate. You put them together, that creates a unique experience between something that you like and something that you don't like. But either way, it's an experience of the whole thing put together and not separate entities. So it's never a question of, at least for me anyway, it's not a question of what's more important or what's better, but when you put them together, when they come together, how well do they complement each other and what experience does that create as the whole? Now, I do feel when it comes to graphics, we can get a little bit obsessed with some of the technical aspects of it, you know, whether it's 60 frames per second consistently, whether it's 1080p, whether it drops down to, you know, 51. Oh my God, it's 49 frames per second. I just can't look at it. You know, how many teraflops does it have? Do I use anti-8? You know, it gets a bit obsessive. And I think what we need to do really is take a step back and look at the game and say, well, how does it actually play? How do I feel when I'm playing the game? What is that experience like? Because a game, there are some games, absolutely, if they're not running at 60 frames per second, it would be too jaggy, it doesn't play very well, it's unsmooth, and it ruins the experience of the game, absolutely. So I'm not suggesting that the technical aspect isn't important, but it's not maybe as important as I think a lot of us tend to think it is. If a game runs at 30 frames per second but still runs smoothly and still has the gameplay that was intended by the developers, then that's what's important, and that's the experience that we need to take from it, rather than, oh my God, it dropped down to 51, it dropped down to 52, this is rubbish, oh my God, I can't look at this, oh, the jackies. You know, there's points where it's like, if it's still within, if the experience of the game is something that complements the game itself, complements the style of the game, complements the gameplay, the music, the sound, everything that goes into the game, as long as that experience of the graphics and everything else is smooth within that and the style that it's going for, that's what we need to be looking at. That's the experience that we need to be looking at. And on a somewhat of a side note, this is one of the reasons why when I do reviews of games, or even films for that matter, well, not so much films, because I'm talking about graphics now, but anyway, one of the reasons why I don't give scores, because when you look at a game, for example, it goes back to Gears of War, okay, let's give that, you know, a 9 for graphics, a great graphics, 9 out of 10, but then compare that to, say, Mario. What's Mario's graphics like? Mario isn't technically as advanced in graphics wise as Gears of War, but the experience of Mario and the way the graphics complement the gameplay is what's really important. So yes, you can say that technically one game is better than the other in terms of graphics if you're looking from a technical standpoint, but it neglects the experience, neglects the art side of it, which is, what am I getting from this game? How does this make me feel? What is the message that I'm getting from this? If you imagine, for example, going back to what I said before, like Mario with, you know, Gears of War graphics, does that make it a better game? Not necessarily, but it does make it a different game. And that's what we need to be looking at. What is the experience of the whole, not just this section of it, or what this part did, or whether it had this mechanic or that mechanic, or if the graphics were 1080p and 60 frames. You know, that's ultimately irrelevant when it comes to how does it make you feel. What is that like? Because that's why we play games. At least that's why I play games. Maybe for you it's different. I don't know. I might be assuming too much here, but part of it, I believe, is that experience, that enjoyment of playing games, and appreciation of it as a complete body of art. So rather than picking the individual parts out and saying, well, what's better than this, and can I live without, and can I do without that, ultimately it all has to come together, and it all has to be this cohesive experience that blends well with everything it's trying to do to deliver, whether it's a message or a feeling or whatever it's trying to do, but it all needs to come together. So it's not about what's important or what's better or what's worse, or whether this is you should have this on that and that, and it's how well does it all come together. And that's what I think of graphics versus gameplay. Let me know what you think on the subject, and if you like this video, give me a like and share it amongst your friends. If you didn't like it, give me a dislike and share it amongst your enemies. Either way, let me know your reasons in the comments. Subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we have cars, we have houses, we have money.